Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video here. We're finally getting to play a little bit of the Diablo 4 Season 4 Loot Reborn. Gonna talk a little bit about, my thoughts on the game, and also just, what my build is right now. The leveling feels great, much faster than it used to be. The grind is not there anymore. You've got Hell Tides available right from the start of the game, so that's fantastic. The mob density is significantly improved. There's just some new, all the stuff that was annoying and didn't feel good before is not there. So first off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it. Helps me out. So I got this, charge legendary power, which I am thoroughly enjoying. You can just kind of see here, I can just pretty much clear the screen with it, and with some of the glyphs I have, or the upgrades I have for it. I'll just show you real quick. I'm leveling so fast I don't even have time to put points into my stuff, but so get extra damage and then cooldown reduction, so that's great. So having some fun with this. Charge felt pretty worthless before. It didn't really feel like it worked right. Now it actually is pretty sweet. So that's awesome. Calls 4 ancients that do 50% of normal damage. So just boom, just one shot everything. Big cozy. So big cozy basketball. But yeah, so that's fantastic. Feels great. Hell Tides are feeling really nice. Just running around, killing stuff. Sometimes I don't have a lot of time to play. I am more of a casual dad gamer, so it feels great for someone like me that has to work a lot and has a lot of other stuff going on. So still enjoying the game. If you've already purchased it, there's no money you have to throw down to check it out. The gear is actually not completely trash now and gone, or all of those really just irritating and additional damage on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, when it's a half moon. So that stuff's all gone. Now the affixes are actually usable, and just good, I would say. I don't really know a better way to put it, but I'll show you here some of the gear affixes that you can kind of expect to see once I just kill this guy real quick. So we've got strength, life regen, strength, max life, and we've got strength, resource cost reduction, strength, max life, life per second, move speed, strength, max life, 2 fury on kill, strength, life on hit, max life, percent damage, strength, percent damage. Still, well, let's see, 11% damage. Yeah, we're gonna replace this white ring here, and I think that's, yeah. So and then we've got max life, just a blue ring. We've got 1 fury on kill and 11% damage, max life, 5 life on hit. So just actually good stats. I haven't got to actually start doing the tempering yet, but that seems like an interesting addition mechanic to the game. I believe that the gear has fewer affixes now, which is fine, and then you add more through tempering. But the affixes are actually good. It's not just crap. And then with some of the defensive changes, so the resists actually work now. It works like, what you would expect it to work like based off previous, Diablo 1, Diablo 2, Path of Exile, just the standard that Diablo 1 and 2 set, where you try and get your resists capped at 75%. I don't know if there's anything that can take you over the 75% in this. There may be. And then your armor caps out at 9,300 or 9,260. I don't know. It's kind of an odd number. Don't remember it off the top of my head, but definitely the defensive stats you need are much easier to attain. That's one thing that I think PoE really needs to look at reworking, and hopefully in PoE 2 when that comes out, which when it does, we'll definitely be playing it. But in PoE, I mean, it just doesn't matter how much you pump into your defenses. It's, you know, it always feels like you're unkillable until you're not, and then you get one shot or just burst down instantly in a half second or so. Too quickly to react unless you're running scripts. So kind of makes playing hardcore not as enjoyable in PoE, because you just know, like, the people that do well in hardcore, they're running logout macros, so it's just kind of silly to be competing against them unless you're doing the same thing. So, you know, I mean, granted, you do have to build your character more defensively, but at the same time, you know, it just doesn't really feel like it's hardcore when you're just, you know, logging out with not even having to click a button, just when it logs you out because, you know, your health dropped below a certain percentage. So here's a temper manual. So now we learn that recipe and we can craft that onto gear through tempering. So that's pretty sweet. I've got a couple rares and blue ones. Not exactly sure what the, you know, I think there's legendary ones too. I'm sure there is, but I have not yet found any, which is fine. I haven't even used it. I'm basically just gonna probably do these Hell Tides, and it sounds like you can get into World Tier 3. They finally added an XP bonus to World Tier 2, which should have been like that from the start. Unfortunate that they didn't, you know, launch the game like that, because it just didn't make sense why you would fight harder monsters for no XP boost, and it was just a little bit higher gold and magic find. So now you get 50% XP boost for World Tier 2, so it's definitely well worth it to just hop into World Tier 2 right off the bat. And then you can get to World Tier 3, it sounds like, at around level 30. You should be able to complete the Capstone Dungeon. I mean, I've played this character for only maybe an hour and a half total, and, you know, some of that time has been, you know, not even monster slaying, so, and I'm already at level 20. I might have just leveled up again, actually. Yeah, now I'm at level 21. So you can just kind of see how quickly you can level up now. So just feels good. I'm interested to see like what some of the new build possibilities are, just because before, like, I didn't feel like charge was usable at all. And even if it's only really, you know, maybe it's good for leveling and not good in the end game, but I think that's fine when there are certain skills that are better at certain parts of the game. Like, not every skill to me needs to be in game, like, you know, best build possible. I mean, hopefully they're still like within a close enough percentage that oh, so this is when you get like marked after, you know, this bar up here fills up in the top right. You get like marked, and then a tougher boss comes out. Seems to be like based off a class, so like I fought, you know, barbarians. This guy seems to be based off the necromancer class. They'll have better drops than the normal mobs, and then you work on filling that bar up again, and you get marked and spawn some more stuff. I don't believe that there are any more hidden chests, which is good. I mean, to me, that kind of just like ruined the whole point of the Helltide, because you were just running around checking, like alt-tabbing to a web page to see where the mystery chest locations are and like where they currently were, because for some reason, somehow it was like available on a third-party website, which You know, don't ask me why that was the case. Um, but for whatever reason, it just was. So, oh, did my attack power go down? Yeah, so I am noticing that the attack power, like the percent damage on weapons seems to be one of the better stats by far. So I'm trying, you know, there's sometimes where I find a new weapon, and if it doesn't have percent damage on it, it's actually like significantly dropping my overall attack power. So I'm trying to keep an eye on that. I mean, I am just leveling, so it doesn't really matter too much, but you know, the faster you can kill stuff, a little bit quicker you'll be able to level. And it sounds like there's a lot more now to do at the end game in terms of like monster slaying. So before, you know, I think it was pretty typical to get kind of burnt out on the game by like, you know, you'd get to world tier 4, you'd be hoarding all of this gear, your stash space is full, just so that you can hang on to your different aspects, and then you know, you'd be trying to level up your glyphs and nightmare dungeons, and that was just a slow grind that wasn't very fun. You couldn't really, you know, sometimes you'd find gear upgrades, but if you didn't have a good enough aspect to like craft onto it, you may not really be able to utilize those upgrades for a while or quite some time. Now they've all, you know, that's changed as well. Oh, this is gonna be good. Ugh. So that's changed. Now you just get to put, you know, I think when you just salvage it, you don't even have to go and like necessarily break it down. And you'll get that aspect in your codex. It will store the most powerful one that you have acquired, and you'll have that, you know, infinite access to craft that onto gear, so you can, you know, it's not going to mess up your build. You can try stuff out, and if it doesn't work, you know, you can go back to your previous build without too much issue. So those are just really good changes. Took out like all those little annoyances that really just added, you know, created a lot of problems, and it's just like, you know, I feel like the game basically, it was just in a 1 year plus open beta, more or less, like paid early access, if you want to call it. I mean, they called it a launch, but I think we all can agree the launch was left a lot to be desired in terms of the state of the game. You know, I think it was enjoyable that first playthrough, and then there's just all those little annoyances. I think season 1 started too soon. Like, most people haven't really finished their first character. And then they started season 1, so then that kind of divided the player base, because there was, you know, some people that are like myself, where it's like, oh, I don't want to miss out on the new seasonal content, you know, especially I was assuming it was going to be more like Path of Exile, where the content carries over into the main game. I mean, why are they wasting all this development time on the seasonal content and then just kind of taking it all out of the game? It just seems like a big waste of development time. And it looks like they've added a few things, or kept a few things, in terms of like the powers. They've added into some legendary affixes or powers, but you know, even then, just like when you're adding in bosses and like areas and content, like mechanics, that's a lot of development time. I remember listening to them talking about they have like multiple seasonal development teams. So like, while one team is working on season 1, there's another team already working on season 2, and then when that team finishes season 1, they move on to season 3, etc. So like, that's a lot of development resources, payroll, time, you know, to just be developing something to only be in the game for like 3 months and then take it out of the game. Like, that just doesn't seem like a smart way to do things. Like, I get it if it doesn't fully work out, you know, like not every season does PoE put all of the content into the main game. but you know, majority of the time they do add it in, or it'll have, you know, some sort of place in the game, whether it's a map affix that can roll, etc., a new crafting system. So I mean, I'm glad that this is basically, to me, this basically feels like what the launch of the game should have felt like, and perhaps if it did, it would have been in a better place from the get-go. So, like, I don't understand why they, you know, they made the same mistake with D3 and just made all these basically what I would call like amateur mistakes. Just like rookie mistakes for developing an ARPG. Like, you, as Blizzard, you know, granted it was Blizzard North, but you created basically this isometric ARPG genre of game with Diablo 1, and then, you know, dang near perfected it with Diablo 2, and then to have just big misses with Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. I mean, I would say Diablo 4 launched in a better place than Diablo 3 did, but Diablo 3, oh, holy crap, that's a big scorpion. Oh, get some. But yeah, I mean, to launch the game, oh dang. Oh dang, oh dang, oh dang, oh dang. Yeah, let's go. I do not know why there was such a giant scorpion attacking me like that. I have not seen that big of a scorpion in the game before. I need to upgrade my potions too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can I jump? Can I jump from here? But yeah, to go to just have like that many mistakes, really, is what I would call it. It's just kind of, you know, mind-boggling how they were developing D3 and then improving it to the point where, like, I would say it was, you know, it wasn't my ARPG of choice, but there was a lot of people that enjoyed it at its current form. And then to kind of take like a step backwards with launching Diablo 4, just in terms of gameplay, like monster density, like builds. I mean, I get that they part of their reason for not wanting to add sets, like they don't want to tell people how to play the game, but you know, set pieces, I feel like, you know, it's just another interesting gearing option if it's done right, like in Diablo 2, not so much Diablo 3. Like, yeah, in Diablo 3, sets were not really that good because it did basically say, okay, this is your build, you know, you get 5 million damage % increase with this set when you use these skills. So basically it sort of pigeonholed you into that playstyle. But that's not how sets worked in most other ARPGs, and it's not how it worked in Diablo 2. You just got some bonuses by equipping, you know, pieces of the gear. It was just a, you know, an extra sort of gear pressure system for you to be like, well, how many pieces of this set do I want to use for these bonuses, or like, is it worth it, you know, etc. Some of them were really good for leveling because of increases that they gave you early on in the game, and some were a little better in the late game, but it was, you know, it was just a good gearing system. It was interesting to see that green text. I mean, there were some sets that were just like amazing. I really, you know, enjoyed the set pieces in Diablo 2. I think it was good. You know, it was a good gear system that they had. They didn't, I think, implement it correctly in Diablo 3. Hopefully they'll do it in Diablo 4. Same with rune words. And I mean, there was some development interviews lately saying, you know, yeah, maybe there is a good way we can implement runes and rune words into D4. hopefully they can. That would be great. I think it would add a lot more depth and itemization to the game. So hopefully we'll get to see that. Oh man, I really like that skill. Like, to me, the barb, like, you know, has some ancestral powers, so sort of like a mystic barb. I feel like there should be like a mystic barb build. Would I think that would just be cool. You know, where you got sort of these like ancestral mystic powers. You know, especially if they gave you some options to like scale things off of different stats. The only thing that I'm noticing is, like, I usually ignore blue items, but now I have to kind of stop and make sure it's not a manual that dropped, because I need to pick those up and like learn those. But it's easy for me to just miss them if it's like a blue text. I don't know if there's white manuals or not. I'm just doing this real quick to get the seasonal journey. Hopefully it's just like a quick kill everything mission, and we don't have to worry. Okay, yeah, that was not too bad. Get rid of some of these white items. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend checking the season out if you haven't already. It's definitely, the game is in a much better place than it used to be. Let me know what you guys are playing. If you are playing the game and you're enjoying it, what are your thoughts on it? Or if you're not liking it, why aren't you liking it? So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And remember to give them the D.